Hey guys, what's going on? It's FloatingWilly here. Today I have another cannon tutorial for you guys. So I know it has been a long time since I have recorded one of these, so I decided today I'm going to actually make a 100 stacker one-shot nuke. Now it isn't that big of a cannon, but it can pack a serious punch on walls. So let's go ahead and get right into it here. Alright, so some things you need to look out for before you start setting up the cannon is the platform. So basically it has to be 30 chunks or closer to the core of the base. The power I hook up, you can probably hook up a bigger one if you want, but the one I have will shoot 30 chunks guaranteed with no dipping, especially on Archon if that's where you play. And your platform needs to be at Y95 or lower to get the full nuke effect, or the full stack, the full 100 sand that you want. Okay, so I'm going to try and make this tutorial as quick as possible so that the video isn't that long, so I'm going to do my best to explain things but keep a good pace. So the first thing you're going to want to do is start from the back. You're going to need a 2x2 chunk area. So that's the easiest way to do it, just claim 4 chunks. So what you want to do is you want to come 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, and then place 2 dispensers right there, 2 right there, and 2 right there. Now what this is this is the booster. So basically what it does is it compresses all of your power TNT. So you want to go ahead and just copy what I'm doing right here with this wiring, just like so, and then a 1 space right here, 2 blocks right there, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 dispensers on each side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then you're just going to want to make sure these are both 20 tall. Since I am in creative, I'm going to go ahead and use my world edit commands just so I can make this tutorial as fast as possible for you guys. So then the next thing you're going to want to do, basically you just go around on the sides alternating 2 blocks, no blocks, 2 blocks, no blocks, just like this. Then what you do is you place redstone repeaters all on top of them, just like so, and then redstone connecting them all. But on the second layer, you're going to want to do something a little different. What I like to do is I like to use blocks and slabs, or some people use all slabs, but I think blocks and slabs is a little bit easier to work with. So then you're going to do the same pattern with the top layers, and then the one right under is just going to be moved over a block, just so it'll look something like this. And then same thing with the redstone and the repeaters. Just connect them all up like that. So then what you're going to do is you're just going to go all the way up, just like this, until you reach the top. Alright, so when you're done, it should look something like this, all the way up. And yes, I am aware redstone current will not go all the way up there from the bottom, but please be patient. I will show you how to fix that. So then what you're going to do is you're just going to do the same thing on the other side, but if you have a world edit like me, I'm going to show you guys a way to do it a ton quicker than placing every single one. So what you can do right here is place 4 blocks just like that, redstone on top of that one, and nothing on top of this one. Select this block and select that block, go ahead and stack 3, and then select that block again, and then select that one, and then just stack 8 up. And then it'll do it automatically for you, which is, I think that's pretty cool. That's one thing I've learned over time while I've been cannoning. So the next step in this process is to go ahead and make kind of a L shape right there, with a repeater on 4 ticks right there, and then a redstone going into this dispenser. And what we're going to go ahead and do is mirror that on this side as well, just so both sides of the power are actually going to get powered. So the next step is to go ahead and place a block right up against this piece of redstone right here, and then we're just going to go ahead and do the same thing on the other side, and then we're just going to go like this. We're going to place a block, a slab, a block, a slab, and then finally another block and another slab. And then we can go ahead and break the blocks, but leave the slabs, put redstone on top of all of them, a block, and then a repeater on 4 ticks. So what this will do is it'll actually extend the signal all the way up to here, so that this right here is 15, or I think it's actually 14. But what it'll do is it'll make sure all the power is getting turned on, so that you're not wasting any TNT by it just being left in a dispenser. So I'm going to go ahead and finish that on this side as well. So the next thing we're going to go ahead and start in this cannon is the barrel. So what we're going to go do is place 5 blocks right here, just like that, a block on top, and then 4 blocks right here. Make sure to leave that as space. So then what we're going to go ahead and do is place a dispenser right here, 2 blocks right there, and a dispenser right there. So what these are going to do is they're going to line TNT to the left side of the barrel. so that everything will be aligned with each other. So what we're going to go ahead and do is place a redstone right there and a redstone right there. Sometimes I know this for a fact, on specific servers, different redstone styles or different redstone like methods of powering don't work. So it's kind of important to make sure that if you're playing on a funky server like that, that you do something like that. So the next step in this cannon is to actually place a block right here with a ladder on top of it, and 3 ladders right there, and then a block up there. So what this is going to do, this block right here signifies the guider, which we will extend out a little bit as we progress in the build. And then we're going to go ahead and place a block right there, and then this block is going to be the top guider right there. So now, so the next step in this cannon is to go ahead and place a block right there with a ladder on top of that, and then 3 ladders right there with a block right there. What this will do is it'll help us lay out our guiders later on. So that's just to help us out later on down the road. So then what we're going to do is place a block right here, and then we're going to place 15 glass right here. So this should take us to the end of the chunk right about there. Go ahead and check it, and that is 15. So what we can go ahead and do now is actually start building out the guider, just like this, all the way until we get to about the edge right there. So then what we can do is we just need to build a wall right here. It doesn't matter what block you use. I prefer to use glass because I like being able to see inside my cannons, but it's really a personal preference. So then after that, what we're going to go ahead and do is place a 5 tall pillar, 1 block from this block that we just placed, and then a 3 tall wall right here, all the way to about right here. So just like this. Doesn't matter what block you use. I'm just using cobble just for the sake of this video, just so you guys can see it pretty easily. So yeah, now we can go ahead and move on to the sand compression. Alright, so in order to start the sand compression, it is a little confusing on the placement. So what we're going to do to make that easier on ourselves is go ahead and place a repeater on 3 ticks right here, followed by 2 redstone right after. So then adjacent and diagonal from this block, we're just going to place a block right there, a repeater on 4 ticks, another block, 2 redstone right here, and a repeater on 1 tick. So what this actually does, it tells us where our dispensers need to be. So we are going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right there, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is going to be the start of the sand compression right here. So after that, what you can do is you can go ahead and place 2 blocks right there, redstone on top of both of them, and then a block right up against that redstone, and then a block right behind it. So then what you do after that is you place 2 redstone right on top of there, and a repeater right there. So what this does is it powers these 2 blocks just because of the properties of the repeater and how it works. And then these 2 redstone dots get powered, which act as repeaters in all 4 directions, therefore powering all of these dispensers. So this is the easiest way to wire it up. And yeah, so that's how we are going to go ahead and start off the sand compressor. Okay, so the next step in this process is to go ahead and place 5 blocks right there, all with ladders on them. Except for this top one, we're going to go ahead and place a block just like so. And then what we're going to go ahead and do is place a block right there, and then 4 blocks right there. Those blocks don't matter, but I would just put them there just because. So then you're definitely going to need blocks right there. And then what we're going to go ahead and do is place 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks right there, and then place slabs on top of them. And then what you can go ahead and do is build up a little wall right there. So then we're going to do the same thing right behind it with the 6 blocks. And then just place 2 blocks just like so. And then we'll go ahead and get out our sticky pistons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we're going to do the same thing with the regular pistons. And then you can go ahead and break these 2 blocks right there. So what we're going to do here is actually make a double piston extender. And how that works is just by going like this. And then placing a redstone all on top of it just like so. And then doing the same thing but on the side of the sticky pistons. Just like this. And then place redstone on top of that. So then what we do is we go ahead and connect them up just like so. And there's our double piston extender just like that. So that's how it should look. So since I'm in World Edit, I'm just going to go ahead and stack this up. Just because that's what we're going to eventually have to do. But if you did not or do not have world edit, you literally just do the exact same thing, just right on top. But the difference for this bottom one is we're going to have to place 2 blocks right there, and then 2 redstone on top of that. And what this does is this actually enables us to connect it up to the redstone circuit used to power it, but we will get into that a little bit later. So the next step is to go ahead and place some more blocks right there, and then place a guider on top. So basically you need to place blocks all the way until about right there, and then place a few blocks right there, because this is where your guider is going to end in the actual cannon. So then after you do that, you basically just connect these 2 blocks just like that. So it's kind of like a big L right there. So then what you can do after that, place 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks just like that. You can place 5 right there if you want, but it doesn't matter. 4 ladders just like so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dispensers right there just like that. And what this will do is this will actually hit the TNT, or the sand, sorry, into the cannon. So the pathing of this is going to go, this goes off, then this goes off, and then the main power goes off. So it all will work like this. This explodes, but right before it explodes, the sand gets pushed into here, then this hits a backboard right here, then this TNT hits in the actual cannon, and then this TNT shoots it out. So it's all just a complicated method of getting the sand into a little area. So that's basically all this cannon is doing. So the next step in this little build here is actually placing some blocks just like so right inside the sand compressor. So you're going to need a wall right up against these pistons just like so. So you can just copy exactly what I'm doing right here with these blocks. And then you can place this up top, it doesn't matter. So what's going to happen, this is going to hit this wall. This wall is extremely important for this cannon to work. So then we're also going to need a wall right here. We're probably going to have to break a few of these blocks later on in the build. So, I mean, it's glass. It's not that expensive at shop at Factions. But, yeah. So then we need to make sure that we also have blocks right here as well. I'm just going to use stone for that. It doesn't really matter as long as it's a block. And make sure you leave this one open right here, because this is where the slab bust. My fucking god! So the next step in this build is actually building up these walls. But before we do that, what we're going to go ahead and do is place 15 blocks of redstone. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, followed by a repeater right there. We will continue this signal once we actually start wiring up some of the main parts of this cannon. But for now, the purpose of this is to help guide us with how tall and how we actually need to make these walls. So the first step we're going to do is place blocks right there. And then I'm just going to place this cobblestone just because it looks a lot neater than just glass. And we're just going to go ahead and build up this wall right here. So this wall is extremely important because this sand actually needs to hit it. Because if it isn't there, stuff will not go very well. So that TNT is going to shoot this sand out. So if we don't have a wall right here, it's just going to go flying out that way. So that means we also need to put a wall right here. Making sure not to break that redstone. So it doesn't really matter how you set up the wall. You can have a doorway here. I always like to have a doorway like right here, but it doesn't really matter. And then, so I'm just going to leave those 2 blocks right there. But you do have to have a line of blocks up here. Like, these can be really whatever you want. I'm just going to use cobble. But you cannot have a block right here, because this is the hole where all the slab bust and the nuking stuff will come down. So this is how this wall should look. Everything will work fine as long as you have a lot of blocks right there, a wall right there, and kind of a guider up here with these one down blocks. So the next step in this build is to actually start doing some of the minor redstone linings, just so that we can, it really helps to have this stuff down so we can judge where everything else in the cannon is going to be, because this is kind of a complex cannon. So what we're going to do is we're going to place a block right here, a block right here, and a block right there, and then 1 block on top of that. Then a repeater on 4 ticks facing inwards, and then a redstone dot right there. So what we can do is, while shifting, right click that, and then right click that, so that we'll have 2 pistons just like so. So then the next step is to place a block on top of the redstone, and then a block right there. So we're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 blocks, just like so. We're going to have a repeater on 2 ticks right here, and then the rest are going to be on 4. So that should be 9. So then all we have to do right now is connect it with redstone, and then just right click all of these until they're on 4 ticks. So there's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then there is 10 ticks, or 10 full repeaters, and then 2 ticks extra. Alright, so the next thing we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to remove this block right here and replace it with a piston. Now what this is going to do is this is going to put the one-shot sand in the right place so that it'll actually fly out the cannon. So then all we have to do is place a block right here, and then 2 redstone just like that, and it'll power that piston without any problem. We have one more major component of the cannon we have to do before we actually start the wiring process. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and place a block right there. Oh, block right there, and then a block on top of it just like so, and then we can kind of put like a casing just like this, and this has to be at least 10 blocks. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So then we'd place 10 dispensers. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then we're going to go ahead and do the same thing on the other side, just like this. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So what this will do is this is the hammer down. So basically this is what makes the actual sand look like stacks on the walls, just like those over there. So these have to be 60 on each side. So basically we just need to have 6 on each pillar, but since I'm in a world edit, I can just do it like that, so that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on each pillar. The way we're going to wire the hammer is actually basically the same as how we wired the power. So we start off with full blocks just like this, going all the way down just like this, alternating up and down just like that, and then we just place repeaters all on top just like so, and then a redstone connecting them all. So then on the second layer, what we do is we do the same thing, both half slabs and blocks just like this. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this up for you guys real quick. So this is what it's looking like for me right now. This is how it should look like for you if you did it correctly. So the next thing we're going to do is we're actually going to add one of the components to the nuke. So how we do this is we just go around and place blocks all on top of this. It's a big deal making sure that we separate it. So then what we do is we place all 10 repeaters, or dispensers, sorry, right on top of here. And then we have to have 4 in each pillar. So if you're in world edit, just stack 3 up, and then you'll have 4. And then we just repeat the process that we did for the hammer and the power with just going like this, and then doing these little guys just like that. So now that we got that done, what we can go ahead and do is worry about getting this all into one block. So how we're going to go ahead and do that is make sure we're 1 block away from it. So there's the 1 block, and we're just going to place the block right there. 1, 2, 3, 4 dispensers just like that, and then 2 just like that. So now what we can do after that is place a block here and a half slab right there, and then do the same thing right here. Repeater, repeater, and then redstone, 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 just like that. And then we're going to place a slab right there, and then a block right there. And then you can go ahead and place a block right there, just temporary block, and break it. And then just place redstone all the way up that staircase. So now what we can go ahead and do is finally connect this little piece of redstone right there, and then put a repeater just like that. And now this will compress all the hammer into 1 block. So what we can do after that is, since we are going to be watering this, we can't let the water out. So we have to place like a little ring right here. You can fill this whole thing in. It doesn't really matter. The next part in this cannon is actually going to be the slab bus. So how we do this is we go from this redstone line and we place 2 blocks just like that, and then 3 dispensers just like that. So then after that we place a block right there, and then just build a line just like so. So then what we're going to do after that is we're going to go ahead and get out a comparator, place it right there, and then connect these 2 with redstone. Then after that we place a repeater on 4 ticks, and then a redstone dot right there. Okay, so the next thing we're going to go ahead and do is actually build a little tube right here. And then what we're going to do is place 2 blocks just like this. And then we place 13, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 dispensers right there. And then we're going to place 13 right here as well. But I'm just going to stack 12 up. So it should line up with the top of your power, so just to make sure that you're even and stuff. So then what you can go ahead and do is you can just place a glass tube right here. And then right here as well. It isn't necessary, but if you want it, you can have it just like that. So to wire this, what we're going to have to do is place a block right there, there, and just go all the way up, alternating with blocks. And then just place redstone on top of them. So you should have 6 little nubs right there. So then, right after that, place a block right off this redstone, sorry, with a comparator on it, and then just keep going up like that. Make sure you're shifting if you're flying around and stuff. And then all the way up just like that. So then, right off of this, what we're going to go ahead and do is get our slabs back out. We're going to place a block right there, a block right there, and then a block right there. And then we're just going to go all the way up, staircasing with slabs, just like this. There's multiple ways you can do this. I find this way to be the fastest. But as long as you have power going to all of these, everything should work out just fine. So once you get those wired, what you're going to want to do is place a block right here, and then a redstone right there. And what this will do is it'll actually save us a little bit of repeaters when we're actually going to start to power this top part right here, which is the actual nuker. So the next thing we have to worry about is actually wiring up this little, this part right here is actually the nuker. I don't know if I said that before or not, but this part right here, this is the nuker. This is what's going to tunnel down the sand stack and actually cause for a nuke. But I will explain how everything works at the end of the episode. So how we're going to wire this up is just by going down 1 block and placing 2 blocks right there, and then 4 right on top of that, just like that. So then right off of that, we're going to create kind of a little U-shaped, just like this. So what we're going to do is we're going to place a redstone right there and a repeater on 4 ticks. A redstone, a repeater on 4 ticks. And then we're just going to leave this open and then have another repeater on 4 ticks. So basically what's going to happen is we're going to place a repeater right there. Make sure you don't add any ticks. Make sure this is a sticky piston. This is really important that that is a sticky piston. A repeater right there. And then a sticky piston right there with a block just like that. So basically what this circuit will do is it'll allow the redstone current to output a signal right here every other time. So I'll go ahead and set up an example for you guys. So how it works is basically every other signal, so I pressed it twice, every other signal will actually end up going through this repeater right there. And this is really useful for a one-shot nuke, because a one-shot nuke will actually take down 2 walls. So you don't have to nuke every single wall, because that would kind of be a waste of TNT. So what you do is you one-shot, then nuke the wall, so that you're really being a lot more TNT efficient and effective. So that is how it works. Basically, this is on 4 ticks. So this goes off 2 ticks. So it yanks the block out and puts the block back in every other. So I think the circuit is pretty cool. So one last thing we have to do here is we actually have to place a few blocks right there, just like so. A repeater right here on 4 ticks, and then redstone connecting all of that just like so. So this makes both sides of the hammer actually go off when you're shooting the cannon. So basically we're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. We're going to place 2 blocks right there, both with repeaters on them, a space right here, and then 2 more blocks just like that. So this one's also going to have a repeater just like that. These are all on 4 ticks. And then we're just going to mirror exactly what we did right over there with the sticky pistons. Just like this. Sorry if I'm trying to move a little fast here, guys. I really want this tutorial to be short for you guys. So that's going to accomplish the exact same thing. But one of the big things that needs to be the same, like either the blocks need to be both out or both in. You can't build one like this and have the other like that right there, or else it just won't be effective. So This is how you have to do it, and that's just how it has to be. So we are almost done with the cannon, guys. We just have a little bit more wiring here in the back, and then I think one more thing on the hammer, and then we will be done with the cannon. So here's what we go ahead and do. We're going to place 2 redstone right here. One right there, one right there. We're going to go ahead and have a repeater right here. Then we're going to go ahead and place 2 redstone right here. A comparator facing that way right there, and then one facing this way right there. This is a pretty complicated circuit right here, by the way. And then 2 blocks of cobble just like that. Get out our redstone torches. Our redstone torch right there. 2 pieces of redstone. A repeater on 4 ticks. And then another redstone right there. And then a repeater on top, just like so. So your circuit should look something like this. Make sure you have it right. It's a really nice circuit. It's pretty versatile, and it makes wiring this a ton easier. So after you have that done, what we can go ahead and do is place 1, 2, 3 redstone. 1, 2, 3, just like that, and then wire this all the way down to right here. So then what we've been doing for all the other compressors, we're just going to do right here. 2 blocks with 2 redstones on top of them. And then a little staircase just like so, going up to them. And then somewhere in this redstone circuit, probably like right here, doesn't matter where, you just have to have a repeater on 2 ticks. So just to make sure that this is 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So that's 13 away from this repeater. It can't be more than 15 or else the current just won't go through. So that's a good spot right there for that. So to finish off the sand compressor here, what we're going to go ahead and do is place a few blocks right off of this little slab we have right here, all the way until we reach right here. So now after that, what we're going to go ahead and do is place 3 blocks just like so, redstone on top of both of them, a comparator there, and a comparator there, and then a redstone going all the way till right there. 2 more redstone off of that, and then a repeater on 3 ticks just like so. After that, we have one last thing. We have to place a repeater right there. So this will actually open up the sand compressor at the right time, making everything able to actually one-shot nuke. So this is going to be one of the last parts of the actual cannon, besides all the cosmetic stuff and watering you have to do, or can do, or choose to do. It doesn't really matter. But this is what has to happen. You have to break these 5 blocks right there, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just like that, and just replace them with dispensers. So just like this. This is going to act as the one shot. So this is going to be on the alternation where there isn't any nuke going on. Place 5 blocks just like that. Repeaters on top of all of them. And these guys right there, those will be on 2 ticks. So then, blocks up against the repeaters. Redstone on top of all the blocks, and redstone on top of all the dispensers. So now what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to wire this so that it's on a different alternation than this guy. So what we do, we bridge down 2 blocks, so just like that. Redstone on top of both of them. A block right under, just like so. And we're just going to build the same circuit that we've been building. So kind of like a little loopy-doop thing, just like this. Sticky piston there. Sticky piston right there. Oh, I'm looking for the block. There it is. Alright, and then we place a repeater there. A repeater there. Redstone right there. Ooh. Repeater right there. And then finally, a block of redstone right there. And then place a block right there. So this block should not be touching the sticky piston if this one is, and vice versa. So that is how that should be wired up, and just make sure that this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. It is, so it will still work because this is kind of far away. So one more thing before we can actually go ahead and fire this cannon. Basically, we're just going to have to place a block right there with a redstone dot, and then a dispenser there, there, and right there, just like that. So what this will do is it'll basically stabilize the one shot. So basically, Sometimes the one-shot sand, I don't know if you've ever canned before, but sometimes when you hammer down, the one-shot sand actually goes flying up a little bit and then back down, and it actually prevents the cannon from one-shotting sometimes. So what this does is this will actually just fix that. So just in case that ever happens, you know what to do. Alright, so the cannon is basically done if you're on a cannon server. So basically, after you're done with this, all you really have to do is just throw a bedrock under it and load up the cannon, and it'll work perfectly. But one thing I like to do, especially if I'm like actually playing in factions, is I like to make a pillar of like cobblestone all the way up right there, and then a thing of ladders, specifically not this block right there, but a thing of ladders going all the way up, just so I can get to the top a lot easier. Without like /fly or anything like that. It does make your life a whole lot easier. So you can't have this block a ladder there, or else this compression won't work and get it all there. So now I'm going to go over how to actually water this thing, because there are a lot of complex parts you need to look out for. So step 1, basically you're going to want to put a block right here and a sponge right here. So what this will do is it'll stop all the water from pouring out from here into like all the redstone and stuff. If you don't have a sponge, well then you're gonna have some trouble. So what you're gonna want to do is place a water bucket right there. It shouldn't flow anywhere because there's a sponge right there. And then what you're also going to do is just fly up here. Let's just start from the back. You're gonna want to drop water buckets all up here, just like that, and then just like pour some water in there. I usually like to make this all sources because it looks cleaner. And then make sure that in here is watered as well. It will get taken out because of the sponge. So you really have to place a bucket of water in there, just so that that one alignment dispenser right there, you can see when I crouch, it gets watered. So you really just need to use common sense when watering. Whenever there's like dispensers, just place water there. But what I like to do at the front here is I like to go ahead and just place 2 blocks right there with a sponge. So what this will do is it'll make this look clean. I really like this look right there of just flowing water and just stopping. So I always do that. That's just one of my habits that I do. And then you place water all along here, and then you drop water from the top right up here. What you can do is build up glass walls right here. I did not show you guys that, but you can do it. But it isn't really necessary. It's one of those cosmetic things I was talking about. So, and then after that you can just drop water all the way down. No redstone will get wiped out because you've sponged both entryways. So, excuse me. Just like that. And then just to be safe, I always place water buckets up there as well. No water will come out because of that sponge. And then you can always just place water buckets all the way up here as well. Just water the whole entire thing, really, if you're scared. But yeah, we just have a few more things. We can just drop water right there. And then come in here, drop water from right there. Oh, whoops. And now everything should actually be watered now. So whatever you really want to do, you can place blocks like all around this. Like you can change this glass up. Like you can change a lot of the things on this cannon. There's just a very specific way that things need to be wired. So just don't mess with the wiring, but you can really mess around with the blocks. Alright guys, so now I'm going to teach you guys how to actually load the cannon. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to come into the sand compressor here, and we are going to place webs all on these bottom pistons, or you could place them right off the slabs. So once you have 12 webs down, one on every single piston, what we're going to do is select this area if you're in World Edit, and then just set it sand, and just stack 8 up if you're in World Edit. But realistically, 9 sand needs to be on every single piston. See that number right there? So after that, I usually like to put a cap right on top of it because it makes it look cleaner and it's easier to World Edit back. So I'm just going to go ahead and / copy this now. So, and then the next thing we need to do is we need to load up the one-shot sand, which is really simple. You just put a pillar right up next to the hammer. So just like that. So I'll just put a cap on that right now as well. So we are ready to fire. So now all I really have to do is go ahead and TNT fill. And we are ready to fire. Alright, let's go ahead and fire the cannon. I'm pretty sure it's on one-shot delays. So we have slabs at the bottom right there. Alright, so the one shot worked perfectly. So let's go ahead and reload it. Paste -O. We can go ahead and fire. You don't have to change anything and it'll just auto nuke. So let's go ahead and fire. Alright, let's see how it does. Ooh, there it is. It just nuked that wall. It isn't really a huge nuke, but you can always add stuff on top right here and always make this little pillar bigger. I just made it this big just because it's practical. You don't really, I mean, if you really want to screw someone's walls up, I guess you could fully 100 their walls, but this does the job. It does like a 70 block nuke, and isn't too bad on TNT. So if I go ahead and fire again, make sure I keep the cannon loaded in. Should one shot, perfect. And then all I have to do is just load the sand, fire again. Make sure, I really don't want to unload this cannon. And the walls are gone, just like that. So that is how the cannon works. It works at 30 chunks. I'll probably do a test for you guys soon. Alright, so I'm about to fire the cannon at about 30 chunks right now. So here it is, the proof, me just flying out there. Alright, told Emerald to go ahead and fire, so the shot should be coming in pretty soon. Yeah, right about this area. Should just be a regular shot. You know, one shot. Paste -O. Fire again, please. So, as you see, that just one shot the wall perfectly. Everything's working alright. OPV2. And there goes the wall. So, it works. That's it working at 30 chunks. So the cool thing about one-shot nukes is that they actually web bust, believe it or not. And the way they do it is you can have webs on the wall you're actually shooting at, like currently, but it'll bust the webs with the wall right behind it. So here's a little example. I have a wall and there's webs right behind it. So if I were to change a few things, like the only thing is you cannot have the alternating nuke. It has to be nuke full time. So just destroy the block and connect the repeaters with just redstone. And then you can fly over here and destroy this redstone to disable the one shot. So I'm going to go ahead and fire. And this should nuke the whole entire wall, and all the webs are gone now. See? This is just a little area where they stayed. I don't know why, but it's pretty random. But it does get the job done. That's probably because I don't have very much nuke on the actual cannon. But yeah, it does web bust. Thank you guys for watching this tutorial today. If you did enjoy, please be sure to leave a like. Make sure you subscribe. I know a lot of people that view my content actually aren't subscribed, and really cannons are related to factions. I do record factions. I try and record how to cannons frequently as well. So if you're into that kind of stuff, make sure you do subscribe. Leave a comment if you think I could do anything differently, or if you want to see any specific cannons be built on my channel. I'm FloatingWilly, and have a nice day.